A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Wakio Mzenge. Our sign language interpreter is Catherine Simaloy. Good evening and welcome to TV47 Prime. We start with very disturbing story. What was meant to be a day of celebration ended in tragedy after a minibus carrying guests to a dowry ceremony crashed just 2 kilometers from their destination. 7 people died on the spot, while about 30 others were injured after the minibus reportedly lost control while navigating the hilly Kalembwani terrain before rolling several times down the steep hillside.
The wreckage is all that remains of the vehicle that was carrying families and friends to the ceremony. Witnesses say the vehicle lost control after an alleged brake failure, rolling down the hillside and leaving a trail of death and injury.
Tulikuwa tunatoka pande ya Ndongoni tukipeleka Chadhi pande ya Matiliku. Sasa tulipopika hiyo soko inaitwaje, ngari ka control steering vile ili control ikaanguka ikaroll mpaka ikateremka kwa shimo.
7 people died at the scene while about 30 others were injured and rushed to Machiliku and Makueni hospitals for treatment.
Iliweza kuumiza watu kama manusura kama 30 na ikaua watu 7 hapo kwa hapo. Kwa hivyo ni ajali haikuwa mzuri sana, ilikuwa mbaya zaidi.
Mmoja ambaye alikuwa anatoa watu kwa gari, dereva na mtoto mmoja pale mbele, mtoto alikuwa analia, alikuwa anatoa sauti sana, na watu waliposikia hiyo sauti wote wakaungana pamoja. Mimi nilikuwa mmoja wao. Hao hawakuwa wamekufa lakini walipelekwa hospitali.
Makueni County Chief Medical Officer Dr. Harvey Mbidhi says some of the injured have since been treated and discharged while others remain under medical care.
Matiliku Sub-County Hospital wameweza kudischarge ama kupeleka ama kuachilia wagonjwa waende nyumbani 5. Kwa hivyo sasa tuko na 13 kwa sababu 5 wengine wale ambao walikuwa critical waliletwa hapa kwetu Makueni County Referral Hospital for further management.
At the Julius Kibwana homestead, the tents were ready, foods had been prepared, chairs stood waiting for guests who never arrived. Instead of songs and celebration, the homestead was silent as families grappled with the news of the crash.
Nilikuwa nimetoka upande wa Ndongoni nikileta mahali huko kwetu, na kwa bahati mbaya tukapata hiyo msiba.
The 7 bodies have been taken to Kilome mortuary as authorities continue with investigations into the circumstances that led to the crash. Sally Davida, TV47.
Quite an unfortunate incident. Now let's move to politics, where Kenya Kwanza allied leaders waged their political offensive in Mombasa and Kajiado, targeting former President Uhuru Kenyatta and the opposition. The leaders rallied residents to stand behind President William Ruto, insisting that his development record speaks louder than divisive rhetoric. They accused the opposition of lacking a clear agenda for national progress and urged Kenyans to vote based on tangible projects delivered by the current administration. Quinto Ofula reports.
The political battle for coast is gathering pace. At a fundraising events for Muslim women groups in Mombasa, leaders supporting the Kenya Kwanza administration stepped up their campaign, defending the government's track record and taking aim at its political rivals. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta came under criticism, with the leaders accusing him of undermining President Ruto's administration.
Don't hide behind Kalonzo Musyoka and Matiangi and all these other characters. Come to the field, upambane na Hassan Ali Joho.
They also warned coast residents against what they described as divisive politics and hate speech, singling out former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
Your days are numbered. And if you were to come back in that parliament, I would impeach you for the second time.
Tulijua 2007, 2008 ilikuwa mbaya, and we are not going to go back in that kind of issue.
Former Cabinet Secretary Aisha Juma was also targeted, with the leaders questioning her experience and record in the various government positions she has held.
Kina mama walikuwa wanalia usiku na mchana. Mimi peke yangu ndio nilikuwa nasimama kumtetea dadangu Aisha Jumwa. Baada ya hiyo wakaja Gen Z. Gen Z ndio waliomtoa Aisha Jumwa kwenye kiti, sio sisi. Ni kweli urongo?
Anashinda kuexplain, mimi ndio namsaidia. Nilikuwa naona aibu sana mama.
But beyond political attacks, the message is also about numbers. Coast residents were urged to register as voters and turn out in large numbers, with the leaders arguing that a combined voting bloc between coast and northeastern regions could significantly increase their political bargaining power.
Ule ambaye anapiga kifua ati yeye yako na kabila zake iko na milioni 7 ya kura. Hakuna milioni 7. Kura yao yote mimi nimehesabu ni 3.8 milioni.
Wale wachache ndio wengi. Wale wachache ndio nini? Wale wachache ndio nini? Na sisi safari hii wakihesabu watu wao, hata sisi watu tutahesabu.
Today we are making history. Katika hii ground tunaregister kura na ID ya wakazi wa Mombasa, and you are going to be counted whether you like it or not.
Elsewhere in Kajiado County, other pro-government leaders have praised the political realignment taking shape through the UDA-ODM cooperation, with the leaders from the two sides vowing to put aside their historical differences and work towards a common electoral objective and a united nation.
Raila Molo Odinga, ni inawezekana ili hii Kenya ibaki Kenya moja. Kuzidisha hii mpango ya kusawazisha taifa, sisi sote tutakuwa huko.
Na tunataka must go ipotee vile imepotea wakati ya Kibaki na vile imepotea wakati ya Uhuru. Must go ipotee namna hiyo.
Kati ya ODM na yeye ndio marehemu kisiasa. ODM bado iko alive and kicking.
Quinto Wafula, TV47.
Meanwhile, a fresh political fault line is emerging in Western Kenya, with former UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala challenging Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi over the region's political direction ahead of the 2027 general election. While Mudavadi is mobilizing support for President William Ruto's second term, Malala is pushing for Western Kenya to back ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, bringing the region's succession politics into sharper focus, with close to 3 million votes up for grabs.
The political battle for Western Kenya is no longer only about President William Ruto's re-election. It is also about who gets to speak for the region and where its political support should go next. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi is building a regional mobilization network, with Kakamega positioned as the anchor of a broader Western Kenya strategy.
This is a lobby group about the welfare, the destiny of our community. So if you are looking at this lobby group as a lobby group that ends with the election of 2027, then you have got the wrong agenda.
The immediate target is 2027, support for President William Ruto and a second term, but the longer-term calculation looks towards the region's own presidential ambitions. That position, however, is being challenged from within the region. Former UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala is now urging Western Kenya to look beyond Ruto and support Edwin Sifuna in the 2027 presidential contest.
Wanaambia Musalia, wewe hatuwezi kupatia hata deputy president, ngoja mpaka 2032. So sisi tumesema sababu Musalia ni ndugu yetu, ni baba yetu, in 2032 tutamsupport. Lakini in 2027 tunaomba jamii ya mkoa wa Magharibi isimame na Edwin Watenya Sifuna.
The emerging divide puts two political propositions on the table. Mudavadi's camp is advocating continuity, alignment with the national government, and a strategy that could position Western Kenya for greater political leverage after 2027.
I told you more than 2 years ago. Nikawaambia what is going to happen to kuwe kitu kimoja na UDA. And I am ready to put our party together. We become one big party.
For a very long time, to support Raila Amolo Odinga, and we have invested in the friendship for more than 20 years. Sisi kama Mrembe Nation kupitia kwa Wamalu wa kijana, we have invested a lot in the Kikuyu community wakati Kibaki amechukua uongozi.
Malala's position seeks to shift that leverage towards Sifuna and by extension give the region a different political vehicle ahead of the next election.
Kwamba kabla akuje atuambie tupige kura tena, akuje atuambie ni maendeleo gani imeletwa hapa kwa.
Paul Kirobi, TV47.
Thank you, Paul Kirobi. Now, tonight, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki has said his seat is not vacant, dismissing the ODM party and other leaders seeking to replace him. Kindiki, who was endorsed as the Mount Kenya region pointman during a meeting of 30,000 elders drawn from Mount Kenya East, told the elders that he will not be deterred by his opponents in the execution of his mandate as the country's second in command. The meeting comes after a stormy broad-based coalition parliamentary group meeting in Naivasha this week, where UDA Mount Kenya MPs walked out, citing that what they described as Kindiki's humiliation by ODM leaders in the presence of President William Ruto.
Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki returned to his Mount Kenya East backyard, where he met more than 30,000 elders at Nambure grounds in Embu, pushing back against ODM onslaught to claim his coveted post. Kindiki told ODM and other leader seeking his position to forget about it, insisting that the country's second-in-command post is already occupied.
The position of the Deputy President is not vacant. Haiko wazi, iko na mwenyewe na imekaliwa sawa sawa kwa niaba yetu sote wananchi wa Kenya na kwa niaba ya jamii zetu sote.
Kindiki's tough talk came after a stormy broad-based coalition meeting in Naivasha on Monday, where UDA Mount Kenya MPs walked out in protest after Kisii Governor Simba Arati claimed Kindiki's position was theirs for the taking in the presence of President William Ruto.
And when they are mamas, the president stands and says, "Nyinyi mnyamaze hapo," telling you very subtly that I've heard what has been said, but please, you work with it, know what to do. What is that person telling you? You know the Swahili say, akufukuzae akwambi toka.
But even before the Naivasha storm had calmed down, lobbying within ODM for Kindiki's seat intensified on Saturday after a section of ODM MPs proposed Energy CS Opiyo Wandayi to become Ruto's deputy and running mate in next year's presidential race, adding to an already packed lineup of leaders lobbying for Kindiki's position.
Sisi kama watu ya OD tumesema UDA wakichukua rais, sisi ODM tunataka nini? Tunataka nini? Na si tuko na mandume hapa katika chama cha ODM. Si tuko na mandume. Si tuko na mandume yetu. Hata huyo Opiyo Wandayi si ni ndume. Si hata ni ndume.
Kindiki was endorsed by the elders as the Mount Kenya region's pointman by virtue of his seniority in government, with the elders reaching out to their counterparts in Mount Kenya West to return the favor.
We therefore believe that the time has come for the people of Mount Kenya West to reciprocate that solidarity by supporting our own Professor Kithure Kindiki unconditionally.
Kindiki also slammed former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua for disrespecting him, despite his olive branch, and called for the unity of the Mount Kenya region.
Na sikuiti ndugu yangu kwa sababu nakupenda. Sikuiti ndugu yangu kwa sababu nakuogopa. Nakuita ndugu yangu kwa sababu wazee wa jamii zetu za Gikuyu, Meru na Embu na Mbere waliniambia ya kwamba jamii yetu ni moja, kwa hivyo wewe ni ndugu yangu by blood.
The Nambure grounds meeting appears to have dealt a blow to Public Service CS Geoffrey Ruku's efforts to divide the Mount Kenya region along east-west lines, after Kindiki and the elders declared that the region should remain united. Apul Kamau, TV47.
And for the second day in a row, the convoy of DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua has come under violent attack in Nakuru County, this time in Salga, as the political group traveled from Molo towards Rongai. The incident, coming barely hours after a similar disruption at Sokomjinga, has deepened political tensions in the region and raised fresh questions about the safety of campaigns ahead of the 2027 general election.
For the second day running, a convoy belonging to DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua has come under attack in Nakuru County, this time in Salga, as the political group traveled from Molo towards Rongai. The incident follows a similar disruption at Sokomjinga in Nakuru West on Friday, as Gachagua began his Nakuru tour. Hours before the latest incident, Gachagua had accused Nakuru West Member of Parliament Samuel Arama and Governor Susan Kihika of allegedly facilitating the disruption of his rally at Sokomjinga. Arama has denied the allegations.
Tumepata habari ya kwamba William Ruto alipanga vita hapa Nakuru kupitia huyu Susan Kihika na bwana yake Mburu, wakapatia Arama pesa haribu mikutano yetu. Huyu Arama anajifanya ni mtu ya Jubilee, lakini ni mtu ya Kasongo. Kama ndio anatumika kuharibu mikutano ya United Opposition, he cannot be part of our team. And this will inform the way we did it with Jubilee.
Gachagua also questioned the security response, accusing Nakuru County Commander Samuel Boyd and Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen of failing to provide adequate security during his party's tour.
We have been informed that the county commander, Mr. Samuel Boyd, instructed the police to keep off so that they can allow the goons to have a free hand.
And I want to ask all communities to coexist, live peacefully, do business together, intermarry.
As the DCP continued its tour, Gachagua turned his fire on the Kenya Kwanza administration, criticizing President William Ruto over his recent remarks about former President Uhuru Kenyatta and allegations that he is funding the opposition.
Uhuru Kenyatta amestaafu. Uhuru Kenyatta atakuwa kwa debe. Mwanaume ambaye anashindana na wewe, ambaye atakuwa kwa debe, ambaye atapeleka nyumbani ni huyu Rigiji mwenyewe. Wewe shindana na Rigiji, wachana na Uhuru Kenyatta.
Gachagua also made allegations concerning land associated with Egerton University and Kisima Farm, adding to his attacks on the Ruto administration.
Amenyakua shamba eka 3,000 wakiwa na Oscar Sudi wanalima ngano katika shamba ya University ya Egerton. Ni mwizi si mwizi?
Meanwhile, People's Liberation Party leader Martha Karua has also condemned the use of violence in politics, accusing the government of allowing goonism to take root in political contests.
Sasa vile umeleta wakora, tunajua una mipango ya ukora, na tumekuona ukianza kuleta watu ambao ni sapota wako kuleta furugu.
Karua called on the police to remain impartial and uphold the constitution, warning that political differences must not be settled through violence.
Nani aliua Gen Z?
Now let's move to the coast region. Devolution was meant to take healthcare closer to Kenyans. But for more than 3,500 residents of remote villages in Tana Delta, basic care remains out of reach. At Kitere Minhaj Dispensary, patients face empty medicine shelves, staff shortages, poor roads and no electricity. For expectant mothers and critically ill patients, referral can become a race against time. Elizabeth Atieno reports.
At the Kitere Minhaj Dispensary in Garsen, Tana River County, the promise of devolved healthcare collides with a harsh reality. The faded health posters peeling on the wall show forgotten promises of universal health coverage. The sharp, high screams of children receiving their routine vaccination cut through the broken walls of the dispensary. Awad Ali is the nurse in charge of this dispensary. He says he is overwhelmed by the number of patients who come from 3 villages of Kitere Minhaj, Baomo and Amani, which are 52 kilometers from Garsen town.
Watoto wa kliniki wanakuja hapa
ni watoto ambao kwa siku time nyingine kama Alhamisi paka Alhamisi tunapata watoto 60, siku zingine tunapata paka watoto 70.
Target yangu kwa ujumla kwa mwezi nafaa wameniwekea target ya mama 10.
This dispensary is not only understaffed but also lacks essential medicines, as can be seen from the empty shelves.
Maanake naweza sema kama dawa mwisho kupata hapa ilikuwa mwaka juzi 2024 Januari. So kuna mwaka mzima 2025 dawa hatuja receive. Sasa tuko 2026, tuko katikati ya mwezi, lakini dawa KEMSA mpaka leo hatuja receive.
This maternity unit with only one bed was once a storeroom which they had to improvise to tend to the increasing number of expectant mothers in the area.
Hichi room ni kidogo sana. Ikiwa kama ni mama wawili, inakuwa mmoja anatoka nje. Anangoja anampisha mwenzie. Hana kitanda kingine. Anangoja maana time mwingine hapa kuna kuja wanawake watatu kwa siku moja.
Hatima Amina, a community health promoter from Baomo village, says that many cases require referrals, but due to the poor state of roads, transferring a patient from the dispensary to the nearest hospital is a problem, and the situation gets worse during the rainy season.
Kwa hivyo kama kungalikuwa at least kwa na boti ya kuferi hao watu kwa sababu wa huo mto ingekuwa ni vizuri zaidi.
Ilikuja juzi hiyo ambulance na imetoka hata hatujui kama imetoka kivipi.
Sasa nikipata referral hapa Mungu asijalie emergency ni usiku imekujia, sasa nianza kupiga masimu ngao. Kuna mgonjwa hapa amezaa, anajifungua, ametoka damu. So kiasi uangalie kilomita kutoka ngao mpaka hapa barabara ni hii yetu. So inakuwa changamoto kubwa sana.
And as if that is not enough, when the sun sets, darkness engulfs the facility. Then the harsh glow of handheld lights illuminates the facility's corridor, since there is no electrical connectivity.
Ukimwona daktari anakuja anazalisha hapa, anazalisha na tochi. Hii ambayo ni kinyume cha sheria.
Maana kuna dawa zingine kabisa nikiomba hivi nitamba daktari kulingana ile kiwango cha hospitali yako haifai kuwa nazo kwa dispensary. Maana zitakutatiza. Kuna ile maintenance, kuna venye nafaa cold chain kama ni zile za friji. So ni kulingana tu ile uwezo wetu ambao dawa ambayo tunajua zinaweza tufacilitate sisi kama kwa dispensary level.
Kitere Minhaj Dispensary is not the only facility lacking electricity. According to the Rural and Urban Private Hospital Association, RUFA, 97% of health facilities in rural areas encounter frequent power outages, and 76% of these facilities are forced to turn to generators.
The effect that these diesel generators have on our neonates specifically, because they inhale the emissions out of these generators.
In a bid to address this, RUFA is seeking to solarize over 780 health facilities to enhance access to reliable electricity.
In this initial phase, we are targeting to solarize 100 facilities before the end of this year. We already are doing the first 10 projects, which is the pilot project.
The solarization program also seeks to reduce the high cost of electricity incurred by health facilities, which are forced to pay not less than 50,000 to the Kenya Power and Lighting Company, KPLC.
Kwa kawaida hospitali ya wastani tuseme kama level 4 wanatumia kati ya 50,000 na 70 kila mwezi kwa Kenya Power kulipia stima. Alafu wakati stima inapotea ukirun generator unakuta unatumia kati ya 20,000 na 30,000.
Average ticket size for these healthcare facilities is 5 million. So looking at 780 facilities, then you're looking at about 3.9 billion worth of project that should cover the entire 780 facilities.
Hiyo inamaanisha kwa life ya hii solar ya 25 years utatumia miaka miwili kuilipia. Alafu the next 23 years unatumia bure.
According to the World Health Organization, 1 billion people on Earth are being served by health facilities with no access to reliable electricity. Additionally, 50% of health facilities in the African continent lack access to reliable electricity.
One of the inherent risks about solar is that solar is limited in nature. So we have to get it right at the design so that then we won't have the frustration post-installation. So we do what we call data logging, which then allows us to establish the consumption patterns of the client during the day, during the night. And as we do the sizing, then we have factored all possible scenarios for the client.
challenges facing health facilities at the grassroots level paint a grim picture in the attainment of the Universal Health Coverage Program in Kenya. This comes at a time when the country has initiated a Vision 2060 plan which positions universal, high-quality healthcare as a foundational pillar for transforming the country into a first-world, high-income economy. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47.
Thank you, Elizabeth Atieno, for that story. It's not enough to actually have more health centers. The question is, what is the state of those health centers? For generations, the Sabaot community has carried a rich cultural heritage alongside memories of conflict and displacement. Now, elders are turning to the same heritage to build a different future, using culture, unity, and traditional values to strengthen peace in Mount Elgon.
In Marambachi, Kinyoro Ward in Trans Nzoia County, Sabaot elders from across the community have come together, not just to celebrate their culture, but to send a message they say is crucial to the community's future. Unity must come before division. The two-day cultural gathering brought together elders, scholars, and community leaders, with peace and coexistence taking center stage.
Hii nchi ilikuwa imekuwa cast, na kuanzia leo sisi kama jamii ya Wasabot tunaanza ukurasa mpya, ukurasa ya amani, ukurasa ya upendo, ukurasa ya kupenda jamii nyingine, na kiini ya hii mkutano ni umoja.
Na amani inaletwa na hawa wazee. Hawa wazee wasichukuliwe vibaya. Hawa wazee kazi yao ni kuleta amani. Hata wakati ile ya kina Musa huko, wakati ya Waisraeli, Mungu alikuwa anatumia prophets ambaye ni manabii.
The elders say their appeal for unity is rooted in the community's own history, including periods of conflict that forced families to leave their homes and seek refuge in neighboring countries.
Siku ya leo tumekusanyika kwa sababu tulitawanywa na wakoloni, watu wetu wakaenda mbali. Wengine wako Chad, wengine walienda hata Congo, wengine wako Namibia in South Africa, wengine walienda wakatawanyika wakapotea kwa kabila zingine katika Afrika nzima.
Today they want a different legacy passed to the next generation. The elders are also calling for the preservation of Sabaot traditions and cultural values, saying the knowledge handed down by the ancestors can help guide young people and strengthen community identity.
Ilitakana tufanye kwa baada ya miaka 100 from 1892, miaka 100 ilikuwa ni 1992. Walipotaka kufanya utakaso, hiyo ndio siku kulikuwa na mapambano, vita ya kikabila katika eneo hili mpaka kule Cheptais. Wazee wakasema hapana, hamtafanya utakaso wakati mngali mnauana, mngojeni tena mpaka mbele. Ndio tukangoja mpaka juzi tu ndio wakaanza.
Kwa miaka hiyo yote 132 na leo tambiko ukisema ikitoka tutakaa vizuri. Ndio tulikuwa tunatafuta amani ya kwamba kwa nini tupigane kila wakati, na hii kitu wazee walisema ikifika miaka 100 mtengeneze.
For the Sabaot community, the message is simple. A shared culture can become a bridge where division once existed. From a history marked by displacement and conflict, the Sabaot elders are now seeking to write a different chapter, one built on culture, unity, and peace.
So sababu yake ni kuleta utakaso ya mwili mpaka na udongo, na watu wakae pamoja kwa amani na utengamano.
This is TV47 News at 9. Remember, you can now catch us on our brand new digital platform, Vibe 47, available online and on your phone. Download it today via Play Store and App Store. Vibe 47 will feature entertainment, lifestyle, news, current affairs, and original shows, all tailored for you whenever and wherever. It places strong emphasis on Kenyan voices and everyday experiences while opening new opportunities for creators and emerging talent. Let's take a short break right now. We'll be back with more.
teaching an oral healthcare class, I saw a little boy who kept covering his mouth. It turns out he had lost some of his teeth and felt embarrassed. But as a hygienist, a child's smile means everything to me. That's why Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection unlocks 24-hour cavity defense, a formula boosted with calcium for lifelong smiles. Every child has the right to smile, and a beautiful smile is a healthy smile.
Colgate, #1 oral care brand in the world.
Moment. Give every spoonful Delamere real fruit yogurt.
The Kenya Water Institute.
The world. Available in a store near you.
Welcome back. This is TV47 News at 9. Thank you so much for making us part of your day. Remember, you can now catch us on our brand new digital platform, Vibe 47. It's available online and on your phone as well. Download it today via Play Store and App Store. Vibe 47 will feature entertainment, lifestyle news, current affairs, and original shows, all tailored for you, whenever and wherever. It places strong emphasis on Kenyan voices and everyday experiences while opening new opportunities for creators and emerging talents. Now let's carry on with the news. Surgery is stepping into a new frontier. Robotic technology is reshaping operating rooms, giving surgeons unmatched precision, enhanced control, and a magnified view of the human body. Already in use here in Kenya, robotic-assisted procedures are enabling complex operations through smaller incisions, promising faster recovery and expanding the reach of minimally invasive care. The big question remains, are robots redefining the future of surgery? Susan Locho with more on
The operating room is changing. What once required large incisions and long recovery periods can now, in some cases, be done through smaller openings with robotic instruments extending the surgeon's reach and precision.
You can see robotics is a minimally invasive. We actually make very small incisions to go into the cavities and approach the problems, like in this particular case, remove the gallbladder through the smaller incisions.
But the robot is not the surgeon. Today we witnessed a robot-assisted laparoscopic cholecystectomy procedure. From a console, the surgeon controls the robotic arms, guiding each movement while a high-definition 3-dimension camera provides a magnified view of the area being operated on.
We have done it with the robot assistance, which is a form of minimal invasive surgery, with the advantage of having a 3D view.
The advantage is precision. Robotic-assisted systems can give surgeons greater flexibility and control, particularly when working in small or difficult-to-reach areas.
The robot can be able to look around areas around curves, so you're able to actually go deeper into the cavities and have a look at structures that would otherwise not be accessible in open surgery.
And the applications are expanding. Robotic-assisted surgery can be used in general surgery, urology, and gynecology depending on the procedure, the surgical team, and the technology available.
Those that involve going into tight spaces like in the pelvis, for example, urology, going up into the chest cavity area, such as resection of the stomach, the gastrectomies, hiatal hernia repairs, and also aggressive surgeries of the pancreas, because these are difficult to perform using the straight instruments in laparoscopic surgery.
The procedure we witnessed today is commonly performed to treat conditions such as gallstones. For patients, the potential benefits are significant: smaller incisions, less post-operative pain, and a shorter recovery period in appropriate cases.
If this procedure is done open through a bigger cut, then the patient might spend 4 to 5 days in the ward. Whereas in this kind of minimal invasive surgery, the patient will be discharged the following morning.
The technology does not eliminate the need for surgical skills. It changes the tools available to the surgeon.
We will have further training in robotics to better understand the movement and the instrumentation that is required in robotic surgery.
This is more than just the removal of a gallbladder. It is a test of how far technology can take surgery in Kenya. With every precise movement being controlled by a surgeon, robotics is promising a new standard of care. Susan Locho for TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Suzanne Locho. Now, families raising children with disabilities in Machakos County have held a peaceful forum to sensitize the public on the importance of protecting the rights and welfare of people with disabilities. Organized by the National Coalition of Parents of Children with Disabilities, Kenya, the forum brought together caregivers from different areas to share experiences and discuss the daily challenges they face. NCP-CDK urged the government to recognize and support parents and caregivers of people living with disabilities, including considering flexible working hours to enable them balance employment with their caregiving responsibilities. The organization also called on the community to support and appreciate caregivers while launching its new Machakos office to improve access to services, support and information for families.
We need to be understood, we need to be heard, we need to be loved, and we need to be supported. We are urging the government to support these parents because when you are a parent of a child with a disability, you are grounded in so many things. One, you lose your job.
And we are saying there is still a gap, and especially in recognizing the voice of the parent and the caregiver. And more so when it comes to the decisions that are being made, we really make a plea that we be recognized when these decisions are being made, because we have various kinds of disabilities, and each disability has got its own uniqueness.
I would like to call upon men in general to get involved in raising these our children. The government need to walk the talk, especially in matters in Nua Jamii.
Employment sector should consider the caregivers about their flexible working hour so that they can take care of the children.
And now let's get sporty. The Chapadimba Western Region Finals will be played on Sunday in Bungoma County. The boys' final, Vihiga Cranes will take on Musokoto Secondary School, while Lugari Progressive Academy will lock horns with the Chakol Queens in the girls' final. In the semi-finals played earlier today, Vihiga Cranes beat Terem FC 1-0 before Musokoto defeated Green Buffaloes 3-0. In the girls' last four fixtures, Lugari clobbered Elgon Queens 4-0, while Chakol Queens saw off Blue Commandos 3-1.
As much as we have won, we still respect the opponent. Wametupea something to think of. Inamaanisha things are tough.
Nimeangalia Vihiga, hata ball games za shule tumekuwa tukicheza na teams za Vihiga. Playing style yao si tofauti na yetu.
Tumetumotivate kabisa tukawin hii game. Ni mara yetu ya kwanza kukuja huku regional, mara kwa participate Chapadimba.
Na tunajua opponent wa kesho pia ni mgumu. So hatumuogopi sisi, lakini akikuja vibaya tunampiga.
Mimi nilikuwa tu najituma juu, nilikuwa najua wenzangu wakiona nikijituma wao pia watafanya the best thing.
We are requesting for fans to come and cheer them up, yeah? And there are a lot of prizes to be won, yeah? Even the fans who will be coming, we are giving out airtime to them.
The 37th edition of the Kabereri Sevens Rugby Tournament enters the knockout stages on Sunday at the RFUEA grounds in Nairobi County. Saturday, Kabras Sugar and Kenya Commercial Bank, who were both in Group D, advanced into the main cup quarterfinals. Also, in the last 8 are Menengai Oilers, Kenya Harlequins, Strathmore Leos, Mwamba Daystar Falcons, and Black Blood. In some selected Day 1 results, Daystar Falcons thrashed Impala 24-0. KCB whitewashed Nakuru 28-0, while Mwamba thrashed Catholic Monks 35-7. Kabereri Sevens is the third leg of the 2026 National Sevens circuit, following Dala Sevens and Prince Law Sevens.
It's a big improvement from what in Kisumu, so the boys are picking up, so you can see the tempo is picking up. So I think the excitement will keep picking up. Tomorrow we have our quarters. We need to just refocus, build our mental, be ready to play in the quarters. Last time we fell in the quarters is that thing we are very aware of. So.
And the 3-day Rero Invitational Golf Tournament tees off on Sunday at Rero Sports Club in Kiambu County. The fifth leg of the 2026 Sunshine Development Tour East Africa swing has attracted top professionals and amateurs, including John Lejirma, Dismas Indiza, Samuel Njoroge, Greg Snow, Daniel Nduva, Michael Karanga, David Wahu, and Edwin Mudanyi. Up for grabs are official World Golf Ranking Points, World Amateur Golf Ranking Points, and Sunshine Development Tour Order of Merit.
This course has really special place in my heart. I think always come here, come and give some good scores. But all in all, this is golf. So you always get planned to ahead.
I'm driving the ball pretty well. Struggled with my wedge game last couple months. So I've been working quite hard on distance control and trajectory and all of that. Still a work in progress, but I think that hopefully that comes through this week as well.
All right, we are going to go for a short break right now, and when we come back, we're coming back with Say What? And we are discussing beginning again, finding love after losing a spouse. So don't